Well, shalom, and welcome to another episode of Let's Stay Connected. I hope you're still safe and well, and I know personally it can be very easy to put on a brave front or facade at times like this and seem all happy and confident, when in fact the reality is we might be struggling or floundering in these current circumstances. For myself, I know it doesn't take much some days to get a bit overwhelmed, and a personal warning sign I guess for me is when I start forgetting things, especially if it's important things. And that's really a reminder that I've probably started to carry burdens that I shouldn't be. The things I should be giving to God, I'm taking for myself. So I guess we're all works in progress, and one of the things that encourages me about the accounts of the people in the Bible is that they're not people who have it all together. They're real people, and they have real problems. But it's also quite evident that they are people being transformed by God. That's the work in progress. I guess one of my favourite examples of these can be seen in the life of Peter, probably because he exhibits many of the same faults and failings that I have. I mean, think about it, if any seminary were to assess him prior to the resurrection in terms of his suitability for service, he wouldn't even get close, he wouldn't even get shortlisted. I mean, for example, we find him ironically calling Jesus Lord, while at the same time rebuking Jesus for prophesying about his upcoming sufferings. And it says Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him, saying, "Well, far be it from you, Lord, this shall never happen to you." That's in Matthew chapter 16:22. And Jesus goes on to reply, "Get behind me, Satan." Now, he hadn't forgotten Peter's name. He was just highlighting that Peter's thinking and responses were being influenced by the satanic plan to thwart Jesus getting to the cross. Ouch. Then later on, following the Passover, Jesus prophesies that all the disciples will fall away because of me this night. But again, Peter brashly states, "Oh, though they all fall away because of you, I will never fall away." Matthew 26:33. Yet later that same night, Peter collapses like a deck of cards in a Wellington Southerly when he denies Jesus not once, not twice, but 3 times, and that's just in the presence of some low-level servants. So at this point, Peter is an abject failure. His only consistent feature is that when he opens his mouth, he tends to put his foot in it. And yet we see that Jesus never gives up on him. And in fact, he goes to a lot of effort to restore Peter during the 40 days between the resurrection and the ascension. And then a real acid test comes. Just a short time later, we see Peter and John are arrested. And they brought them before the Sanhedrin, which is the highest, the most important religious court of the day, and it included the high priest. So remember, Peter had faltered and had failed under the pressure of just some low-level servants. How was he going to cope facing an irate group of the most powerful and influential religious group of the nation? And when they saw the boldness of Peter, this is the same Peter, and John, they perceived they were uneducated, common men, and they were astonished, and they recognized that they had been with Jesus. Acts 4:13. What a testimony of the power of God to transform a life. So let's stay connected to Jesus and let him work in our lives to transform them. Folks, stay safe, stay well. Nigel out.